What's up, guys? I'm here with Sean. You got first place today with Chimera, undefeated, Chimera branded. Anything you want to say before we dive into the video?
I'm just really glad I didn't brick this week, so.
Yeah, the truth, the deck's pretty bricky. You won 40 cards this week?
It's not bricking. I'm on 45.
45, okay. Any shouts you want to give?
Nah.
No shout outs, okay. Before we dive in, over to like, comment, subscribe, and well, let's hit that fusion.
So we're just playing super standards, 3 Coatl, 3 Sword Knight, 3 Gazelle, 2 Berfament. It's mostly solved at this point that unless you're playing like a 3rd engine, you're probably going to be on 2 Fall Valdez. I am on the branded opening engine. That's getting more standards. This is still a choice. I did like it today.
So why this over the other one? Is it because it's a light for Albion? Other than like the...
I just put it in today. I tried something different. I think if you are playing the Druid, it's a really good one to do it with, especially if you're not playing the Patrick stuff, because then like there's literally nothing that you actually want to discard. The other thing is you can stick Albion on field. So you have an extra body on field for Chimera, you have an extra deck or a fusion monster if you want to go into one of the other fusion cards, and then when you fusion summon it, you went to Dragoon first, you fusion summon it to whatever, it activates in Graveyard, and then you can use the other branded fusion for either a Rinbrim or a Mirjade Blade.
Okay.
This way it just sets you up to get more follow-up.
Very fair.
Yeah, then we're going the last engine-y things. We're on 3 Fenrir. It could have been 2. It was really good today. I occasionally drew 2 of them, but it wasn't a big deal. I confused it off. Most of the time I'd rather have it. And against any other mid-range deck, I'm fine with it going second. Any control deck, I'm fine with it going second. The only times that I started siding them out was against like combo decks. I played Infernoble Knights earlier, and like Fenrir's not going to do anything.
Yeah, it's not going to crack that board.
Standard hand traps. 3 Ash. I think a lot of people are on 3 Crow. Todd and I were talking a while ago. People got bored of cash in our locals, and like even before the ban list, like if people were getting bored of cash, Crows is a super sick call. It hits almost everything. I started that once today. 3 Nib. It's kind of iffy. There are decks it doesn't hit, but I think it's safe enough. You can hit everything reasonably well. Even like tier now, there are still points where you can nib and it's decent. Like old tier, they just go like Chainlink 5 on you, but they have less resource than you hit mills, but it's definitely more generic if you are playing more hand traps. Honorary monster slot, we have Infinite Permanence. These are the only hand traps I'm playing.
That's like 15 or 12 though. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm at 45 cards, so like it's slightly better than running 9 in terms of drawing a hand trap. It's more than enough. I have the Fenrirs and everything. Spell cards, you got 3 Chimera Fusion. I really like 3.
I saw some people playing 2. Do you feel that's incorrect?
You can do 2. It's nice to have them. There's a lot of hands where you like drawing it so you can chain it and go through targeting negations. If you do opt to play the Patrick stuff, that's like 4 more copies of Paul in your deck, so it's not as big of a deal, but I really like 3 for pure. Then 2 branded opening. During the regional, we opened branded opening Alibur 4 times. Only once today, so I liked it a lot better today. I think it's worth playing. Your branded fusion is just too important. And you do it in draw phase anyways. Like worst case scenario, you might burn like an Imperm or a Veiler or something. They won't blow Ash, but you might get something out of it. 3 branded fusion, you have to play it. It goes into your Chimera engine. If you have Chimera engine, you can go Dragoon. Rinbrim is absolutely ridiculous against any deck it's good against. Not this tournament, but a few tournaments, I've had multiple games where like Rinbrim Pass just beats, especially Cyber decks. Rinbrim Pass just beats things. Just playing 1 talent, triple tactic talents. I might play 2. I just picked up 1 the other day just cause I do like it. The deck can be a little less consistent. You should be okay for the most part. Your hand should average should be good. This is really good for going second. Going first, I just set Imperm in game 1. Otherwise, I probably sided out going first. I'm not playing any big blowouts. But going second, the reason why this is good, and you can even put multiple in, is on top of the any monster removal or Feather Duster, you can also just grab Brand of Fusion. So
True.
it's just another way to go into another part of your engine. Because you can even go like, if you have this in Fenrir, you can just make them use monster effects, and you can go straight into Brand of Fusion. You got 2 engines. So I consider playing multiple copies of this in the side deck in the future as well. Cobble the Grave, you have to play it. Triple Tactics, you have to play it. And then I've been on There Can Be Only One for a little bit in the main. It's I played 2 Tier today, and it sucks drawing it against decks like Tier, but for the most part, this destroys a lot of decks. Like, even if you're playing against Unchained, like if you lose the die roll to them, you can literally put nothing on your field, set this and pass. They can't kill you. You can go into your next turn with it active, and they have 1 Fiend monster on board.
Yeah, they have to burn a battle phase, and you have to have a monster on field for them to get
Like,
rid
how
of it,
much
which is
attack
nice.
does Caesar have?
Caesar's like 28.
Yeah, so they can't use their Link 2. You can keep Caesar on turn, and you can literally just burn his effects for 2 turns. Like, game 1, they're not going to have outs to it.
Yeah, as long as you don't have a monster on the field that they can't crash one of their big boys in, then you're doing fine.
It's Dragon, Flunder, Sprites, like, everything is a really good card in the main, I think. You could put it in the side and put more engine in. Like, I've seen people put it as a crossout slot and then have crossouts in the main. I think that's all right, too. There's, like,
A few different ways to play the deck.
there's a
which is
lot of
really
different
nice.
engines. I think most of them are all right. I'm going to be testing Runic Chimera over the next few weeks. I don't know if I'm going to bring another deck, this with the new stuff, or Runic Chimera, so keep posted. Really standard extra deck lines at this point. 2, 2, 1.
You don't need any more than any of these. That's perfect.
No, you don't really go into more than this. It would just take up more space. Although I do have a lot of space, and I put some random shit in. I didn't go into this today. You don't always go into it, but especially against really grindy matchups, like if you both open well, Dragon Link is just, you can go turns and turns. If your opponent leaves a monster in attack position and like you don't have much gas, you can just like make this and kill them. So that's kind of a knowledge thing. Like leaving monsters in attack position is not great against this deck, because if they do, you just win. I mean, you gotta play Mirror Jade. This was kind of spicy today. I saw somebody, I think it was one of the top lists from Dorman. They were playing, no, it wasn't, it was a regional. They were playing this for Pearly. So you can just like make this off Brand of Fusion. You lose some value, but it very much forces out Noir because it gets big.
That's fair.
And the other thing is, I'm only playing the 1 Mirror Jade. It's another target for Rinbrum. So if I go through my first Mirror Jade, it came up today, I can use my Rinbrum, summon back Albaz, and then it's just got to be
125 more.
yeah, monster with 2,500 more attack. So it's it comes up. You can use it for OTK lines too. It's pretty good. Rinbrum, you gotta play Rinbrum. Opted to play the 2 Albion. Part of the reason was just because I
The only 1 Mirror Jade's a little bit weird to me. Do you ever miss the second one or not at all? Like,
no, not at all.
looking at all like the fusion stuff.
I could have put an extra one. I had some like, I had a pretty loose slot at the end that I just chucked a card in. Like you could definitely put it in instead of this. I didn't need it. I never wanted it today.
That's fair.
Maybe like,
I don't think it would replace it. I mean, maybe it does.
maybe
but
during my Infernoble match, but like you make this a lot. You make Dragoon pretty much anytime you have Patchwork engine, not Patchwork, like your main engine. And you make Dragoon sometimes just in the matchups where it's good against. So this is just really nice. It adds back more. Leaving this on field's insane. It's just a good card to have, and you can use this to make this as well. So
That's true. That's true.
yeah, it makes it a lot easier. Magnum's just really good in the deck. It helps you get draws. I actually didn't make him today. I didn't have a lot of decks where he was really going to be good against it. Dragoon, I think this card's really, really good. People have been doing all right with it without playing Dragoon, but
They struggle to out this card though, like still today.
yeah, like if you have like a TTT or a Thrust or anything like that, even sometimes going second, like instead of like going for the Mirror Jade and trying to wipe the board, like you can just force out negates. If you want them to activate a monster effect, you can do it too, because they have to. Like once they see you send the Hex Seal, like Dragoon's kind of a bitch to deal with. Once again, just Draco's Depelia. I think I saw a list where they weren't playing this, but if you really wanted to, you could even just play 2, like if you're main decking the TC Boo. I think it comes up like very fringe, but it's nice because it helps you cycle the types being a plant monster.
Yeah, it is a little bit different from the rest of the extra deck.
It's kind of like a relic for regionals. There is some very slow playing in our area at times. So, you know, if there's too many like big thinks, You can just drop this game 3 and be like, okay, buddy, have fun.
Think all you want.
But I just didn't have time to replace it. I modified the deck last night. I probably would have put something else in. Maybe the Mere Jade or
That's fair.
something like that. Side deck, you have to play 3 droll. The decks it's good against, it's good against. Like, opening this guarantees you don't get completely rolled by like a deck like Infernoble Knight or Menadium or like
Dragons
nuts in the
even
matches.
sometimes.
Yeah, this is just too good against the decks it's good against, but it's less generic than Nib, so it's on the side. I can consider 3 Phantasme, but a lot of the time I find myself having better sides for decks, and I just can't fit more than 2 in.
That's fair.
So it's a 2. I also don't want to play 3 crossouts. This has been in and out of my builds, but depending on what deck you're going against, this is just better than having non-engine because it makes your combo go through, and there's a lot of decks where if you go first and like any of your engine resolves are not playing. This is pretty good today. I've seen people playing multiple copies of Thrust, Thrust and Herald. It's just a really good card. I sided against Tier today. I didn't even like put it in there for Tier. I just kind of had it for generic stuff, and this is a really good card because you have your Thrust, you have your TDTs, you can draw off Chimera. Like, there's a lot of ways to get into it. 1 Feather Duster and 2 Cosmics.
Pretty generic. I think that's like
Pretty nice
super.
stuff. And I'm playing this today. I forgot I had Masquerade in my deck, honestly. Sometimes there is some big thinking around locals. I didn't go into time today, but I just wasn't having it.
Oh no! The dogwood.
I really didn't miss a lot of my side deck. Like, you could consider...
What would you change for the dogwoods?
I wouldn't hate a 3rd Cyclone. Cyclone's really good when it's good. Deals with floodgates. You could put some TTTs in. If you really wanted to, you could put the 3rd Crossout in. I'm sure there's another like power one that you could chuck in there, but
That's fair. You could put like one of those like Drew McCann, like something like that. That'd be nice too.
like yeah, even like Drew Swarm and stuff like that's not bad. But then you're like really focusing on one matchup. This is just
For slow players.
yeah, you can play pretty quick with this deck. There can be a lot of interaction depending on what your deck you're playing, but like I didn't go into time today, so I didn't end up coming up. But if you're going to a big event and you know that sometimes people like to take some draws off you or big think pretty hard, like you can just chuck this in if you don't need space.
That's fair.
You can steal like a match. Like, you're not going to steal a bunch of matches during the day, but you make it one.
That's fair. Well, congratulations for first place once again, and hopefully see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks.